I appreciate you for joining me for another episode of the White Liquor Podcast. And this is actually a special series I'm doing for Black Fatherhood. And I'm very, very excited to have you on. You can go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
I'm Dearmayl Sherrod, and I'm a father, so this should be very interesting. Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And you have how many kids?
One.
A son.
One son. Yeah.
One son. How is that experience?
It's weird at first. And just the process initially. When the child born, the mom typically has that instant connection. That's love, and I can't speak for all fathers, but I only can speak for myself on this. It's like, yes, it's a connection, but it's like, all right, when he starts growing, is he gonna act like me, or what is this gonna be like? It's a lot of questions first. So I can't say the connection was there, but it was also a lot of questions because life, you don't know life, so it's different. Everything's different. Everything changes in that moment. So it was very weird. Yeah. See.
All right. So, what's your experience with fatherhood, but from a child's perspective? So, tell me about your dad.
All right. So that is one of those situations where it's hard to assess or talk about because I didn't have a relationship with my father like that. It was later on in life. So from a child's perspective, I can't speak on that. I only can speak from the experience just having my child and trying to understand it from his perspective, but that's difficult. So I do a lot of talking to my son. Like I talk with him a lot about any and everything. I'm kind of fortunate and blessed to have a highly intelligent child, to be honest with you. How we're speaking and communicating, that's how I talk to my 7-year-old. He is very articulate, very, he's smart. So you gotta, he's gonna ask questions, but that's how I raise him, to ask questions. So from his perspective, I only can say that, it's a patience thing. He speaks with patience, and he understands. So it's tough. It's tough. I wish I did have that father that growing up to understand and be able to speak more on the subject, but I can't. Only can use my few experiences that I have with just having those deep conversations with a 7-year-old. So, yeah.
Well, you'd be surprised what you can grab from the presence of a father the lack of a father, and how you apply that to your fatherhood now. So, with your father not being fully present, how did that affect how you wanted to be a father?
Oh, it made it easier for me.
Yeah.
Because, all right, I play devil's advocate with a lot of things, right? So when people have their fathers and their parents in their lives, it's like they're raised with a certain structure, they're raised with certain values and morals and things like that. So when, not saying that those values and morals are correct. So with me in my situation, what made it easier for me was, granted, I speak all the time about, I wish I could have a conversation with my parents, but I can raise my son with the values that I think are best. It's like I'm not manipulated by what my parents have instilled because, quite frankly, they weren't there. I'm only going off the decisions and the experience that I had in my life so far, and the good experiences, and I'm channeling those good experiences and developing what I call an educated curriculum for my 7-year-old. And I tell him what the truth is, what it really is. I don't sugarcoat with my 7-year-old. So for me, it's easy. I don't have an example to teach me or say, hey, do it this way. And then that creates conflicting values in me because it's like, yo, dad, maybe you that's how you did it, but, and then your dad mad, and I don't gotta worry about that. It's like, yo, this is what it is. This is how you understand it. If you got questions, you ask, be respectful, be mindful, but don't take shit from people. And that's me as a father in a nutshell. You understand, learn as much as you can. So it's easy for me. It's a clean slate. I get to teach him how I get to raise my child and instill the values that I want from looking out at the few moments I have with my parents, and then my aunts and uncles raising me, and then seeing how their lives turned out and the decisions that they're made, and then learning from an early age that life's all about choices. So don't force it. Hey, son, this is what it is. It ain't gray. It's black and white. This leads to this. If you do this, this does this. If you do this,
right.
It's simple. Like, I keep it simple. I don't complicate it, but because at some point he ain't gonna listen to me. He gonna do his own thing, but.
Yes, we
my
all
voice
do.
will be in it. That's why. So it's only so much I can do. So
Okay. Let me see. So I hear a lot of, because I don't have children yet.
Okay.
So what I hear a lot of parents say is that when they had a child, it changed their perspective on life, and a lot of people forced them to grow up. Do you find that your son teaches you things? Or has forced you to grow up more so into manhood?
Oh, of course. Oh man, that's because prior to it was like I was really reckless, and it's like now that growing, like, and some men don't like the switch don't flip for some men, unfortunately. But for me, it was one of those things I recognized immediately. I'm responsible for another life, so that decision. I'm a very cerebral thinker. I'm a very direct person. So for me, it was just like, all right, I'm a father now. And then just the process. It's like children always tell the truth, which is like, especially like in these ages now, they're going to tell you what it is. They ain't, because they haven't experienced life to formulate, okay, let me say it. Like, no, they ain't seen nothing in life yet. So they're going to tell you what they know. And it's a lot of times where my son teaching me patience. Because it's just like sometimes I have situations, he be like, Dad, just chill. And I want to say something to retort, but it's just like, yo, he's right. Like, he's 7.
Yeah.
Like, got it. Like, so it's like, yo, your children teach you a lot sometimes when you just sit back and just pay attention. Because I see, like, if you want to know when you have children, and if you want to know, especially with boy, I have a son, what you were like as a child, just look at your child. Watch how he operate. Like, it's the stuff he do that I'm like, yo, I still do that now. He gets that from me, or his mom will say something. So yeah, it's pretty cool. They teach you a lot. You just gotta wanna, be that person, being really involved, like, and it works out.
Okay. What kind of mistakes have you made
with
your child? Like, were there things that you did, and then when you thought about it in retrospect, you were just like, damn, I wish I'd have handled it differently, and now you handle your son differently than you may have in the past?
So, all right, my son is not like, all right, he looks like me. He's just like, but he's a Cancer. So, it's like, my son is more so like his mom on that side of it. And when it's more so, he go in the shell. He ain't gonna say nothing to you. Like, you feel me? So, I had to be mindful of that because I'm a very fiery person. And he's a very patient child. And it's crazy. Like, you think children are like, he's very, relaxed, and I have to be patient with the fact that he's not I have to come and talk to him like we have this conversation. Gotcha. Like, I gotta be just, I can't be like, hey, listen here, bro. Like, now when it's serious and when he know time, but nah, it's like I literally practice like with my child because it's unfortunate to say, but it's true. Like, I converse with my child how I would want to converse with a grown ass person because if I can get a child at 7 years old to listen to me and understand, and that's how it should be anyways. That should be a dialogue anyway. So it's times I have to catch myself and be like, yo, nah, I don't want to force my son into a shell. So now it's more so like, hey, okay, listen, son, this is what this is. This is why I did this, and this is why I said that. I do apologize if I made you. Yeah, Dad, I don't know why you did that. So it's like, now I'm learning, like, but it's a learning, like, it's all learning. Like, you don't know life. Like, nobody knows life. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a major key. I've been listening to DJ Khaled a lot lately.
Yeah, but that's all you hear.
What you just said, that you apologize to your son if you feel the need to, and I think that's critical because a lot of parents, particularly black parents,
because they the adult and they know better. No, we don't always know better. Sorry, it's true. We don't always know better. So you're right.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think that shows your son that you respect him too, and his feelings as well.
Of course. Because then if not, he's not gonna trust me. Then when he becomes a teen, he's gonna resent. And I don't want that, bro. I want my child to be able to talk to me about anything. And that's how I operate. Like, that's how I raise him. That's why I don't hide anything from him. Mm-hmm. I'm always truthful about my actions and what I'm doing and this, that, and the third. If he asks questions, I'm not one of them parents. Like, the world, when they're our age, it's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
So, we know they have access to everything now in the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not finna sit up here and be that fool, that naive parent to think that, no, my child is number one, and no, this happened. No, it doesn't work like that, son. This is the real world, and he's getting raised as such. He knows that, he called me the other day, Dad, I made the principal honor roll. Congratulations. But that's the standard now. But he knows I'm big on education. And I was like, that's it. We ain't doing nothing this time. He was like, I know. I don't always get nothing for, doing great. It's just do good to do good, Dad. I get it. But that's you instill those kind of values in your children to understand the world don't always give you what you want. And it don't always work. It don't go your way. Yeah. It sucks sometimes, but you only can control what you can control. In this instance, son, we ain't doing nothing because Dad's tired. I love you. Congratulations. Do that again. But he did it because he gets his share of fun. And then, he's... Truth be told, he's spoiled, but at the same time, he understands that can be taken away. Like, he don't got his Xbox now. He ain't having for 3 months. He just made Unreal back to back because, it's a lesson to be learned. It is what it is.
Well, that's really good because I think that probably also teaches him, he'll take that even if he's not, consciously thinking about it. When he is a man, he'll know that he needs to handle his responsibilities because he's supposed to, not because he's looking for a reward.
That's it. It's in order to survive in this world, you have to take care of your responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's a reason why we see so many people, a lot of homeless people are homeless because a lot of people have mental issues and this, that, and the third, but a lot of people are homeless because they can't handle the real world.
True.
And that's a reality some people don't want to admit to and understand, but people zap out on drugs because life is hard. Yeah. And that's the truth of the matter. But people don't want to admit that. We born with decks stacked against us, odds never in our favor. To be doing what we doing and whatever, you be able to come here and we do this little interview, that's a blessing in itself. But people don't, over people's head, they just
too into their phones. Okay, let me ask you this, because you mentioned keeping it real with your son, having open, transparent conversations with him. With everything that's going on, around George Floyd, police brutality, him being a black boy, he's growing. How are you having those conversations with him? What does that look like for you as far as making him aware of other people's perceptions of him and how he should handle himself when he's out, away from you?
Okay, so that's tough now because he's 7. And how his school, he's a friendly child. But he's very, observant. Mm-hmm. For me, I truly believe in experiences, and we have conversations. He asks questions about what, Dad, what the George Floyd thing is, blah, blah, blah. He knows, he's aware, but it's a tough sell to a 7-year-old if he hasn't experienced anything like that. Because we got adults now that haven't experienced anything like it, and when you talk to them about it, it's just they can't even empathize because it's damn, that sucked, but whatever. Yeah. No, I'm serious. It's a tough cookie because he's in a predominantly black neighborhood, and then a few outside of the blacks, the minorities in the area, then you got the white folk. It's a tight-knit community, for the most part. So for me, I really believe in experiences to teach, and it's hard, until we, he's not out traveling by himself. He's not going anywhere by himself. Shit, he don't even ride his bike by himself. He's 7. Be on the block with him, you understand? So when it's time, and it's like, I look at it as like, when he get in his teens and he's starting to venture out more on his own, then it's just like, yo, now you understand it, like we can have those real conversations because I'm not always around. Like I don't. Now it's like you always with dad. I can be in a situation like that because even if we come across a situation like that, a 7-year-old wouldn't even know what's going on because it's adults going on. 4 he's probably scared, but I can be able to explain to him when I'm done what just occurred, what just happened. That can be a teaching moment at that moment. But it's hard to have a conversation about things like that with a 7-year-old when his friends are white, they cool, they like each other, they be at parties. So it's tough, like But I'm not one of them parents where it's just like, oh, I don't know, I trip like, yo, when it's time for that conversation, he gonna get that conversation. I'm a Malcolm X 100%. Like he gonna get that conversation. You get what I'm saying? So, but right now it's just like I don't want to. He's smart. I just don't want to. I don't want to. I ain't gonna say ruin the innocence, but if he don't have to experience it now, then why do it? Why trauma? Like why add that to his thought? Why do it? Like why expose him to it? Not yet. It's coming. It's the truth. Like it's the world we live in. It's the truth, but not right now.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. You want him to just be a child for as long as possible.
Yes, like we don't have enough of that anymore, man. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Well, in wrapping this up, I like to ask sometimes, if this was your last day on this earth, what kind of message would you want to leave your son that he could take with him for the rest of his life?
Don't apologize. Live unapologetically. Do what you want. Like, and I really wholeheartedly, truly believe that, and I say that with whatever that message comes with, and however it resonates with him. It's gonna sound weird as hell, but it's like, if what people have vices, people say all the time, that person shouldn't be doing this, and bro, they should do that because it's detriment to them, and blah blah blah. I truly 100% believe, mind your goddamn business. So it's just like I talk to my son now about it. I'm sure when I'm on my deathbed, that's gonna be my last message to him. Son, live your life how you want to. Do what you want to do. Make sure you're being respectful to people. Make sure you're being kind to people. At the end of the day, you do what you want to do. Like, because we won't get this back. Like, we don't get none of this back. And I wish, like, I tell people all the time, like, I wish y'all could just feel the passion behind when I say that. Like, how I feel when I really mean live unapologetically. Like, don't apologize to nobody. It's like you born in a fortunate situation. We ain't. Lord forgive me, you know my heart. We ain't in Uganda. You ain't born in the south side of India. You're not born on a trash pile. And we are fortunate enough to be born. Our ancestors sacrificed when the generation with technology. Hey, okay, like I get it. I'm one of them people where I recognize the sacrifice that people made before us because life was hard. We talk about it, like life was hard back then, bro. He's so convenient, right? Like it's so such a convenience to live right now. So like I impart him with that. Like just be you, walk with your chest high as hell. And I say this all the time, professionally, let your nuts hang. And be you, man. Like just respect people, love people, be kind, but don't apologize because your daddy damn sure don't.
Gotcha. That's what's up. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking this time with me.
Anytime.
This was great.
This is dope. Like I like this. I like to be candid. So yeah.